Gambia government launches project for food security and farmers' resilience. Gambia to celebrate 56th independence in low key. PURA reappears before PECTO to present activity report and financial statement. These and more coming on GAMBIA24. Good evening, this is GAMBIA24 News Bulletin with me, Mariama Cham. Thanks for joining us, and now the news in detail. The Gambia government, through the Ministry of Agriculture on Tuesday, launched a project called Resilience of Organizations for Transformative Smallholders Agriculture Project Roots. The Roots project is geared towards improving food security, nutrition, and smallholder farmers' resilience to climate change in the country. The rest of that in the story. The 6 years project is intended to cover the 5 administrative regions in the country, which is targeting micro-entrepreneurs, rural youth, and women. The $80 million project also aims to increase agricultural productivity and access to markets to enhance food security and nutrition. Speaking at the opening ceremony, President Adam Barrow says he is aware of the challenges being faced by the agricultural sector. The President reiterates his government's commitment in combating climate change, which according to him is a threat to human life.
The Gambia is among the countries that are most vulnerable to the effects of climate change. In recognition of this, the government is fully committed to supporting and promoting initiatives for climate change adaptation and resilience. Furthermore, we appreciate the importance and potential of sustainable agricultural value chain development in fostering growth within the agriculture sector. Consequently, we will continue to prioritize and invest in agricultural land and infrastructure development, agricultural machinery, post-harvest and processing equipment, storage facilities, and related value addition and market access initiative across the country.
Ami Fabre, Minister of Agriculture, says the Roots project is intended to support areas that are highly affected with climate change. Minister Fabre also highlighted the significance of the project and its implementation plans.
Roots will be implemented in all 5 administrative regions of the country, covering at least 39 districts across the 6 agricultural regions. These are areas within the highest poverty rate and most vulnerable to climate change. Secondly, the project will directly benefit 40,000 households, involving about 320,000 people. The primary targets are smallholder farmers, predominantly women farmers, female and male youth farmers from the age of 18 to 35 years old, farmers and entrepreneurs involved in cooperatives and SMEs engaged in commercialization and value addition.
The country director of the International Fund for Agricultural Development, Howard Sienta, says that agriculture is the driving force of economic growth, job creation, and poverty reduction in the country. She explains her organization's reason for providing the $80 million to the Gambian government to roll out the program.
The Resilience of Organization for Transformative Smallholder Agriculture Project, Roots. The name is an inspiration from the Gambia culture of courage, bravery, and resilience. It is also a way of acknowledging the Gambian legend Kunta Kinte, who as a slave has broken the chain of domination. My belief is that this name will inspire all of those who are involved in the delivery and to relieve the implementation process of a project. Because we cannot afford failing to deliver and to relieve our own people from poverty and make the agricultural sector that will attract youth throughout the value chain.
The project, funded by the Gambia government and its partners, including International Fund for Agricultural Development (IFAD), seeks to boost agricultural production in different parts of the country. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham. The Gambia government there launched an agricultural project worth $80 million to improve food security and others. Now, Gambia's President Adama Barrow has ordered that this year's independence will be held in a low-key due to COVID-19 pandemic. This decision from the presidency did not go down well with some citizens, including members of civil society organizations. Binta Jallo has more.
Gambia's 56th independence anniversary will be marked in a different atmosphere thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic. President Barrow has instructed this year's independence to be held in low-key due to the coronavirus, according to a statement from the Office of Secretary General and Head of Civil Service. However, the president's decision to limit the celebration to only parade of troops and school children has triggered different reaction among Gambians. Mariang, Executive Director of Gambia Participates, a civil society organization, expressed his disappointment with the government's decision, saying it's not done in the interest of the Gambian people.
This is the case. It is a joke, a big-time joke, the joke of the year. I mean, last week or week before last, we've seen a grand launching, bringing thousands of Gambians. I mean, when COVID-19 rise, I mean, the cough of COVID-19 was on the increase, and the Minister of Health is aware of this. The Minister of Health do have cabinet briefing with the cabinet or the president. They, trust all those precautions that are coming from them. I mean, the ones that are supposed to regulate the movement, they've been putting out sanctions, not sanctions but restrictions on the movement of the people. But when they realize that these restrictions are going to be, it's not in their best interest, they lifted them in order to have this grand so-called launching of a political party. And it's not only for NPP. I mean, we've seen other political parties also making their massive congress, bringing thousands of people around the country. They know what is going on, but they risk the life of the people, right, for their personal interest, and that's the politics in this country. I mean, that is the hard fact. They will risk the life of the most vulnerable for them to be here.
Buba Sise of the Balance Crew also said President Barrow is not leading by example in limiting spread of pandemic by recently launching his National People's Party.
But compare it with the launching of his the party, which is the grand style. Of course, a lot of people coming in there. There's no different. We have to be very honest here. As a leader, you have to be a sample, which is very, very important. You have to always lead when it comes to anything. So if you can launch your party, I don't see any difference if you can also celebrate our independence in the grand style that we normally used to celebrate it. The only thing I'm going to ask is that COVID is real, and gatherings would not help the Minister of Health to fight it, because that's one of the issues, public gathering. But in the Gambia, it has already started. So who starts it? We know the president is leading, so obviously we have to have an independent. We definitely can have to celebrate it.
The statement from the government also states that there will be no sports program since there is no guarantee that the children would adhere to the COVID-19 health guidelines. Thousands of people from different parts of the country usually converge at Independence Stadium or Makati Square to celebrate the national event in a grand style. Reporting for iAfrica TV, Binta Jallo.
President Adama Barrow ordered a low-key celebration for the upcoming 56th independence anniversary due to COVID-19, which, however, did not go down well with some citizens, including members of the CSOs. We will now take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put in to constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work. tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
Welcome back, and now to the rest of the news. The Public Utility Regulatory Authority PURA has on Tuesday reappeared before the Public Enterprise Committee to present their activity report and financial statement for consideration. It could be recalled that PURA had appeared before PEC with no activity report and financial statement on the 29th of January 2021. More details in this report by Ndesise. At its initial appearance before the committee with no annual activity report and financial statements last month, the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority has reappeared to present their necessary documents for the year ended 31st December 2019 for consideration. The annual activity report presented to the committee is divided into 5 parts. The Director General of PURA, Mamadou B. Jallo, gives a summary of the activity report before the committee.
Part 1 on page 18 refers to our corporate governance and human resources review. Figure 2 shows the organizational structure of the authority. It constitutes of a board of directors, the Director General and 7 directors overseeing the different departments.
PURA has also reviewed its financial statements, including the balance sheet and income statements, to the committee through its Director of Finance, Paul S. Mendy.
Financial year ending 31st December 2019, the balance sheet, the position of the authority at the end of 2019.
Read it exactly as it is,
yes,
because that's what we are getting.
Yes.
To see whether what you have is what we have.
Yeah. The assets, non-current assets, shows property, plant, and equipment.
You mentioned the balance sheet as at.
Yeah. Yes, balance sheet as at 31st December 2019. The assets, you have the non-current assets, that's property, plant, and equipment. As at 2019, 5,806,738, compared to 31st December 2018, 4,834,662. That gives a total non-current assets of 5,806,738. 2018, 4,834,662. Current assets, cash and bank balance sheet. As at December 31st, 2019, we have 5,738,595.
Following the presentation of the annual reports and financial statements, the committee proposed and seconded the motion for PURA to resume on the 11th of February 2021 for consideration of their activity report and financial statements at 11 a.m. PURA was established under its Act 2001 to regulate broadcasting, electricity, water and sewage, telecommunications and transportation in the Gambia. For iAfrica News, I am Ndesise. PURA Dairy appeared before the Public Enterprise Committee of the National Assembly to present its activity report and financial statement. Now, FODAY Barry, former head of the Investigations Department at the National Intelligence Agency, denies the allegations against him. FODAY Barry is an adversely mentioned person at the Truth Commission, repeatedly accused by many for torture and human rights violations. Let's take a listen. Samba Jallo and Balo Kante told the Truth Commission they were tortured by the NIA and mentioned FODAY Barry's involvement in their torture. However, on Thursday, FODAY Barry denies all the accusations and says, in fact, he has never seen these people before. Barry says he knew Samba the day testified at the TRRC, and for Balo Kante, he says he only got involved with him on the 3rd day Balo was brought to the NIA. He denies torturing any of them, especially cutting Balo's breast nipple.
During my evidence or whatever collection there, I came to understand that Balo Kante and others were They are part of Charles Taylor's guard security.
ñoom bokk nañ ci ñi nga xam ñoo doon garde Charles Taylor.
They were one time ambushed.
am na yenn jamono sax dañ leen waroon nomba.
And one of them, that is a Gambian called Mamadou Musukeba Sise,
na benn doomi Gambien bu ñu xam ne Mamadou Moussa Cissé
was buried alive.
dañ ko suul te deewutoon.
And Balo Kante was one of the captures.
te Balo Kante bokkoon na ci ñi jàppoon.
That is where he was tortured.
foofu lañ ko deloon dóor ko.
Now,
mettital ko.
let me finalize. Let me just stop there, because if Balo Kante's nipple was cut,
ara ma jeexal foofu rek bu fekkee ne Balo Kante ci suñu wenam bi dañ ko dogoon.
how and where was he treated in the Gambia?
kon fan lañ ko fajee woon fii ci réewi Gambia.
Nowhere.
Fen.
Then he lied to the commission.
kon dafa fenal commission bi.
Mr. Barry.
Yes.
Mr. Barry.
What your testimony has not said.
Yes.
Is what his torture in Liberia entailed.
He's never been tortured by Jobate, nor me, nor his nipple been cut by Jobate.
Balo Kante says he was kicked by Samsidine Sarr and beaten by soldiers and NIA agents. However, Barry says Samsidine was not on the ground. He was only with Babukar Jatta, who was present.
When Balo Kante called me and said he wanted to see me,
Bim Balo Kante nem dafa bëgg gis man.
Because he was very fearful, like all over there were soldiers with their weapons.
He
wanted to talk to me in isolation. Then I asked the soldiers to go out of the office. That did not go down, that did not go well, with them. So the next minute, but luckily for me, whilst they were away, I was able to talk to Balo Kante. He gave me all the informations. Then later on, I saw Marena and Babukar Jatta coming to my office. They said the report has reached the president. I have sent the soldiers out of the office. Excuse me. Then they escorted me to the office of the president. Fortunately for me, I had all the informations already. And no sooner I entered, the first thing he said to me, who are you? But who are you?
Mr. Barry denied participating in the torture of Baj Samba Jallow, Omar Jatta, Suleiman Sarr, Omar Diouf Damfa, Issa Balde, Balo Kante and Mamadou Jallow. FODAY Barry moved from police to the NIA in 1995 as head of operations. In January 2003, he was deployed at the Karabakh station as commissioner, and in July 2003, he was dismissed. He was reinstated in 2006 and arrested 40 days later. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham. The adversely mentioned NIA agent FODAY Barry denies torturing Balo Kante and co. That's all we have for you in today's edition of GAMBIA24. Thanks for watching and have a good night.